Hello, I thought I'd do a video on the current quite dystopian UK thing that's developed, because of course this country always gets worse, regarding the digital ID cards, which already had a massive backlash. So although the government loves to ignore these petitions, there's already a petition I think it's about 2.3 million people have signed since around Friday or whenever Thursday, Friday just came about. Now, lots of people don't like the idea of digital ID because of, obviously all the ideas of a bit like a Chinese social credit system that the government could stop you doing things if they don't want to. Most of my worries with it, although again I think those are all valid points, aren't to do with that. They're to do with how incompetent lots of government agencies are with your data and sort of being able to be hacked and things like that. So the idea is that I think rather than you using a passport or a driving license for certain things, to get a job or whatever, or if your employer requests to see it, you have to have one of these digital IDs on your phone. So again, like, they haven't discussed how it's going to really work yet. The problem is obviously that firstly, I know a load of people that don't use smartphones or maybe don't have the right model of smartphone that might not, work with this. So you've got that sort of issue that there's a lot of people you're going to alienate. And then let's say they require that for voting. Does that mean the elderly and lots of people without the most expensive smartphones can't vote now? That's a bit weird, isn't it? But yeah, the main issue, I think, is that because how many times government databases get hacked and them probably paying peanuts, to get a monkey to code it, you're going to have the sort of cheapest, crappiest app possible that's probably not going to work, going to have very poor device compatibility. And yeah, I think what's going to just start happening with this is if they force it out on everyone, because again, until this government's kicked out of power by, having an election, they're now, by the way, Keir Starmer is the least popular Prime Minister in all of recorded British history in terms of when there was polling. Rachel Reeves as Chancellor is now the least popular Chancellor in all of that same history. Stuff is going very badly for them. But they seem to be doing this sort of double down on everything approach of, even if we're screwing everything up, let's do as much damage as possible because we think we're doing the right thing before the next election. So anyway, what's going to happen, I think, is that they'll force it through, and there'll be lots and lots and lots of issues with it where it just doesn't work properly, or all your data gets leaked. And what happens as well if your phone gets stolen and then somebody is able to impersonate you because your digital ID is stored on that. Again, they haven't really explained how this is going to work. I know some other countries have digital ID things and they kind of work, but again, I think those are countries that have probably thought about it properly and introduced it in a way that would work and have paid for good IT services surrounding it. Because one thing I certainly don't think the British government is going to do is pay for a proper IT service to support this IT system. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.